Today we are making fried eggplant. So we will scramble up the eggs, put them in a combination of almond flour and hemp seed. You slice the eggplant, put it in the flour, then put it in the eggs, then back into the flour, and then you fry it in coconut oil. And you can serve it with ranch. And it's delicious. You can also sprinkle it with Parmesan cheese. So the eggplant has been sliced, dipped in almond flour that's mixed with hemp seed, and then back into eggs, then back into the flour, and then you fry it in coconut oil, and then sprinkle it with Parmesan cheese and garlic and sea salt. And then we'll have ours dipped in ranch. It'll be done in just a second.
Okay, today we're going to be making the TOWA, T-O-W-A, TOWA for ball. We're going to explain the TOWA in just a second, but we're going to need our leather, and we've already pre-cut these. Couldn't remember the length of it, so I did 3 lengths like this. So I think it's 2.5 like this, but I'm not sure. It's been a while. You're going to need a bobby pin needle and a regular needle and thread, just a short piece, a pair of scissors, and your strips that we cut the other night or in yesterday's daily video. So now the TOWA, or the ball, is called the world or the baby. Now the Legend of Time talks about the baby being intertwined and enclosed and in or it's in a web, or it's webbed in. But the TOWA means ball, earth, and baby. And we're going to be making one today for you. And then we're going to show you a shortcut way that we use when we practice. Okay? Yep. Okay, so we're going to get this out of the way. We'll need that later for making more. But right now, we just want to show you quickly how to make these. And you see how this end is kind of rough? Let's save that in for the last. Oh, actually, the only way we do this is to use the rough end. And all we want to do to begin, well, this is what I do anyway. And it's very small, you can see. But what we want to do is cut a point. Try to cut a point the best you can, and as long as you can. Kind of something like that. Just a small point to that, because we're going to need that to go between each lacing. And it's easier to do that with something that you can just pull that lacing through. And this is the hard part also. But when you stick it, you want to stick it kind of close to the tip. And then you have to stick it through. And you can use something else or to try to help you get it through. But be careful, because you don't want to... See, it's coming through, so you get on both sides of it and push down. And that will help you get it through that leather until it gets through. Then it's a little easier to get through, but go ahead and push it all the way through. Oh. And get it through. And also double up your knot. I'm going to go ahead and put another one on that, because this knot is going to help that leather pull through without pulling through that hole right there. And maybe about halfway through or closer to the end, this may pop out through because it's being pulled so much that it's going to open up and cut that leather, and it's going to slip through. So this is the end for right now. We don't need this side right now.
I didn't get it in there.
Oh, well, this is the end
There.
side.
Yeah.
This is what we're going to be working and threading with. So we're going to go to the other side and get the other side. And we're going to leave that tip the way it is, and we'll explain in just a moment why. Also, now we're going to set this to the side, and our strips that we cut the other day, here's a small piece, and you can I like to get them, the small pieces with the small pieces. But all we're going to do is start with a small tip, small piece, and we're just going to roll it sideways, around, this way, that way. We're trying to get it to curl into a ball. We're going from sideways like this. We're turning it also, and we're coming back. We're making and forming a ball. And you need, what's it called? Cotton for this. A cotton t-shirt, not a Under Armour kind of shirt. Cotton works the best, and it gives it the proper weight that you're going to need. So we're starting with a small one, and all we're going to do is get another piece, and we're going to find out where that ended, and we're going to go over. I like to, this has got a corner on it. And make sure you cut these off, these tips.
The hems.
The hems. Make sure you cut those off. And then we're going to go over that little piece right there. And we're just going to keep building until we get to almost this size. And this is paracord. This is the nylon, and it's good to make a practice ball with if you want to practice, but if you want a game ball, you use leather. It has a different weight. This is a little lighter, and the duct tape stick balls, the shortcut stick balls, they also have a different weight than the leather, so you have to get used to each one of them. But all three are effective for your shooting. So they can all be used. But for me, I like to use the leather ones. But for the time that we have, we're going to be using mostly the duct tape and the paracord that we have here. The leather ones, we're going to make maybe 3 more pair. Not today, but maybe 3 more pair with the amount of leather and material that we have. And also try to use the inside that's going to curl up, like this is curling up on the inside. Try to use that because it will mold around the ball for you also. And all you're doing is just going opposite. See that little loop? You're just going to go over, and you'll eventually come back over it. And keep it tight when you're working. Keep your hands real tight. And sometimes, and don't get discouraged, but sometimes these will pop out of your hand and all that work has just unraveled. And always hold another piece. Then grab you another piece and continue until we get almost that size, because the leather strip is still this thick. So that's going to add to the size or the outside of the ball. So we want it a little smaller than this one to work with. And again, I'm using the side that's curling up. I'm using that as the, where we at? as the what's going on face down. Yeah, that's what I was looking for. I couldn't find that a while ago. Let me get that piece again, start over. So you want to try to end or start where you finished so that you don't have uneven an uneven ball. So, but also you're molding with your hands. You know, I'm not just rolling this around. I'm molding the ball. I'm pushing it in, making it more round as I go. And just hold it in one and cross over and just keep going back and forth to fill in the gaps that you see. And we're going to go around this until we get to almost that size, and then we will be right back. Okay, it got hot, so we're using Liberator air conditioner and we got some music going. But once you get your ball to about this size, remember the outside, the leather's going to thicken this up. So even though they look pretty much, one looks smaller, by the time this gets done, this one's going to be raised up about that much, and it's going to be bigger. So we're going to start that next part in just a moment. Okay, so now we got the ball about that size, smaller than that, and it looks like it's not going to be a good size, but it will. And where you got that pin in it, we want to make sure that that stays down, because that always causes a problem later. So we're going to cross it. So the first thing we're going to do is we want to go kind of over to the left side more of the ball, and then we're going to lay this across because we're going to pin that. But the more you can get over, it will slip if you are not too careful. So be careful when you're going around this. Take your time, no rush. Line it up to be nice and secure and snug. Keep tension on it. I'm going to cross that over again. Oh, see, we got a little separation. I'll tighten it up just a little bit. And we don't want too much separation. And we're going around it third time. We want them tight and together. There's a little... I gotta keep all that together. That first one. Keep them all together. Keep them tight. Go around the third time. Side by side. Cross that over again. Keep tension on it. So now we've went around 3 times. So right where, let's see, right at 3, we're gonna go up just a little bit, and this one is going to start going underneath here, and we're going to start going this way. Okay, so we went around 3 times. We got the tail right there. So now we need to, this has got to stay tight. This is why we use the needle. We're just going to slide this needle underneath it and get in between that second one. And be careful of that also. And you can use this. Now keep tension. Keep these as tight as possible. You don't want any looseness. So keep your thumbs tight. Keep your thumbs tight. And you can see it just turned. But what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that this is the right way. Looks like we can go down to about here. Okay, so I need to turn this because it did not need to be turned. Okay, so now we're going to loop this and let it slide underneath there. Okay, so this is the first one. We're trying to get that as flat as possible, but if that's the way we got it for right now, that's okay. Now we're going to have to go underneath the other one, but we're going over this one and out through the bottom. Okay, so now we're going to go over the middle one and under the next one. Remember, keep a tight hold on it, because these will slip out very easily. Oh, see, this one got twisted again. Okay. Now, let's see, where's that? Okay. They just got twisted just a little bit. Okay, let's tighten that back up. And you see where we started, the side, the new side. So this one's kind of tight, but you still want to hold on. You still want to hold on to the tightness. You still want to be secure in this. Now on this one, we want to...
Sorry, I'm not trying to block your view.
Oh, no. It's okay. We're going to go on the left side a little bit more. Make sure you hold these. We're going to come around. Well, actually, we'll come around. And we're going to work on the left side again. More on the right side, because we're going to build on this side. So we want more on this side in the beginning. So now we have to do the same thing with this side. So now, since I came under, I'm going to go over the first one, under the middle, and over the next one. So this is under, so we want to go over on this one. And keep these tight, because they will try to slide out. And go underneath that one. Slide it from the side. Pull it from the side. It's a little easier to get through there. Oop. Okay. Keep a good tight grip on that. You see how it's separating right there. We want to keep that together. Keep the finger on top of that while we go through this. Okay, so now we're going to go on the left side of this, going over this one, and tighten it up just like that. Now, remember, keep your fingers on this. Keep them tight. You don't want anything separating, so go around, make sure this all stays together like that, because we're crossing right here. And don't mind that piece, just go around it. And don't mind that needle, also go around it. And remember, we're going to stay on this side of that last turn. So we're going to go about right there. Okay, so now we're gonna go. So the last one's under, so we're gonna go over this time. And we're gonna keep doing that. We're gonna keep doing this, so we're gonna go over this one. And under that middle one. So, get a little sloppy here. Okay, so now I'm gonna go underneath this one. And it's always easier to slide that piece of leather, come up on the side of it and slide in. And this will help it go through easier. And see, there's a separation there. We'll keep that going. I'm gonna keep it closed and tight. Okay. Let's make sure this is all.
I hope no one ever complains about the price of a stick ball.
They shouldn't. They shouldn't, but people. Okay, I'm gonna go make sure it's on that side. And I'm trying to get as close to this one as possible, because I still need to go back around. Back around. So now we're gonna cross that over, come back around again, and we're also gonna do this 3 times. So now I need to go under. So now I need to go under this one to keep it even, and keep tension even on the string that you have. Go underneath it. Keep that tension on that one too. And we're going to slide into it, because there's always a little gap next to that other piece of leather, and that'll help you get to pull these through. Okay, we're going to scoot that over, push that in, push that up, keep it all tight, and we're going to pull it a little snug to keep that tension on it. Now we have to go over this one and under that one. Okay, keep tension, keep every one of them together. Get underneath that one. And sometimes you will catch that cotton. If you do, just slide your needle further down, away from it. And remember, these have got gaps, so you can pull towards the gap, towards the holes, and it's easier to get your leather through. Okay, make sure these are all lined up. Let's see. Right there, right there. Okay, looks like that'll work. Keep them together. Keep tension. Also keep all that leather going the same way. And I don't do that one like that.
You what?
I'm keeping this tail out. So, but we need to keep these tight. Need to keep everything tight. Don't let it slip. Keep it pushed down. Even. Even. Keep everything as tight as you can. This may seem like it's going to be harder to get through later, but you'll understand. Okay. That at hand, when you get to those next sides, remember, use your fingers. Keep tension on everything so that you don't make it come apart, or if you get it loose, it's not going to do you any good. You're going to have to start over. Okay. And also you can push it to that next one close to it before you pull it through. Sometimes that helps. Okay, now here we go. Never done this tighter quarters. Usually I've got my hands way out here. Okay, so we went over. We're going over it. And look how that slipped. You gotta pay attention to that. Keep all those together. Keep tension. And then we're gonna go under this one. Always pull it back out to make sure it's going to go in like that. So that one's turned once, so I need to turn that. Okay, and then I push it up as close as I can to it before I pull it through. And that helps it secure right there. Okay, we're going to go around again. 3 times on each side. We're going to go over this one. So we went over, under, now we're going to go over again. So we need to get underneath that middle one. Keep these tight. So underneath that middle one now. Pull towards the middle where the gaps already are. That'll help you pull your leather through. Okay, we'll push it together and then pull it through. Okay, just to be able there. 3 over there. Now we're going to go over, and this is the third time. This is where we make the change. So now we've got 3 on each side. That's what we're looking for. So we got to go over, under, and over. So we went around 3 times on each side. Try to keep those still together best we can for right now. I know it's going to get loose like that, but that's okay. So now we're pushing in and make sure we're keeping everything tight. So now we went over, under, and over. We went over, under. Now we're going to go over, except we've went 3 times on each side. So when we go over this time, we're going to turn it and start going this way and around this way. Okay, so I went over. We got 3 on each side. Now I'm going to go under this one and use that gap. It's a lot easier. Come down and pull towards that gap. Uh-oh. See what I did? I mean, you can try to pull that out if you want.
Grab some t-shirt fabric. Is that what happened?
Yeah, grab some. It's not a... I hate doing that. And it will happen. And it does happen. Because it's a needle and it's just a little bit of fabric there. So I'm going to have to turn this off for a second. Now, we went underneath this. We just cut that little piece off.
And you have to keep the tension on everything else at the same time.
All in every place.
I can't even imagine who first came up with this.
Okay, so now we're going underneath that one. We're going this way. So just try to keep them that top showing like that. Well, your leather going the same way. Okay, so now just went around that one, and that may cause us a problem, but maybe not. Pull that up tight, cinch it in tight. Can't see it. Cinch that up tight like that, and we're going to go over that one, and we're going to go around now this way. So again, keep tension. You want to just slide that needle through there, make sure there's nothing caught. And then slide your leather through. Remember, we're keeping that same outside leather. Keep that same leather up there and push it into that gap. Push them up into those gaps before we pull it through. And that'll also help us keep that leather same color all together. So we went around the first part, and we're going to keep going around the entirety. And this is, well, we'll show you. Okay, so now we're going to go over this one and under this one. And sometimes you will get confused and you will go underneath ones. And if that happens, don't panic. Just unravel and correct it and continue. Don't worry, I've had to unravel a couple. Push that up together. Keep the tension on everything. Overlap that one. Push it into the gap and pull it tight, but push it up there into that gap. Keep these tight, just like that. Now we're gonna go over this one, and then we're gonna go back around. And make sure your needle slides back and forth. If it catches, it means that you caught that material underneath it. And you got a chance to get it out. So kicked it off for some reason. So remember, we're going around and around. So we're going to go underneath this one, slide it underneath there, make sure you don't have any material caught, and slide towards the center because there's a gap there. Easier for your leather to go through than trying to go the opposite way. And of course, make sure your leather's all going the right direction. We're going to go over, and we're going to pull that up to the top, and we're going to go pull that again. So you see, we're going to go all round and round and round and round and round. And that's all we're going to be doing for right now. But I will show you in just a second, because we're going to separate these so we can expand the ball. So next, what we're going to do is we're going to go around that about 3 times. And then we're going to start separating these a little wider. Every one of them, we're going to make them a little bit wider, spread them out, and we're going to be going in. So we'll have a line here, a line there, a line here, a line there, a line there, a line there. Those middle ones will stay, but everything else will be spread out to the left and right. And we'll show you what we're talking about in just a second. So I've started separating, as you can see here. This was the normal, but right now I'm starting to separate evenly so that I can get wider with the weaving. And here's the top, and there's the bottom still. Those work together, and now I started separating. And you'll do this after about 3 or 4 turns. Make sure that's nice and secure, and then you don't really have to hold on to it real tight because it's going to tighten up by itself. We're going to continue, but we're going to spread these out. These are going to be opened up, and these are going to be opened up. Now do them gradually, real slow, where the next gap should be. And this one right here, we still need this, but we got to be careful with it because we're going to also use this at the end. We're going to pull this down just a little bit more straight so we can weave the bottom. All right, we're going to continue. Just remember, about 4 times around, start spreading these out. Okay, be right back. Okay, we got a little bit more separated. Just like that. It should look like an acorn kind of look, but it's still going to be round. It's just that this top is going to be like this bottom. And just a little bit. And let's pay attention to that last little string right there. That's going to be very important at the end. So we've went around, all the way around. We're still going around. Also, whenever you stick your needle under here, it's going to get real tight at the very end. It's real tight. So you can use something else to pry these up a little bit. I used to have a little hook that I could get underneath there and lift it up. It'll help you get the needle underneath it and pull it through. Or whenever you pull it through, there's that little pointed tip that we have, a little pointed tip. But when you pull it through, you can, let's see if I can get through here. You can come up to the point where it's at because it's real tight now. You're going to kind of help it by pushing and pulling tension on this one. You want to push that tip, if you can, underneath just for some help. That one slipped. But you want to try to get that. And then it's easier to pull through. So we're gonna go all the way around to the very end, and then we want to show you how we finish. So here, when we're getting closer to the bottom, it's getting a lot tighter. So what you can do to get in there is to take a small screwdriver or a pick, push that down in there, but you can also lift that and help it get through a little bit easier. Pretty easy. But you may need something like this for the end so that you can lift and dig, because it's going to get real tight in there, especially these areas. And then we'll show you how we finish up in just a second. So we're using this to pull some of these up, and you can use that. It's a little bit easier. But when you stick it in there, if you go sideways, it's a little bit easier also.
And that's just a little tool from a manicure kit.
A little tool from a manicure set or something like this, or something like this, just to get underneath there and stay with the pattern. And pull this out. I'm going to stretch it up just a little bit. I'm going to pull this out. And then I'm going to slide this one back through. Just like that. And we're getting to the very end, so I'm going to go around one more time. And normally, we would lift this up and lift this up on the last one and stick the excess in here and cut it, and it would draw back just a little bit, and you wouldn't have that, so that there would be no like stem sticking out like that. Okay, one or two more that we have left here. One right there, and one right there, one right there, one right there. We're gonna go over that, underneath that, and actually I think I need to go up one more. Let me cut this one off. We don't need that anymore. So we're going to go under and over, under and over. Now right there is generally where we would try to go underneath and just pull it all the way around. But we'll see how we get that done. You want to watch the rest of it? And right now we have over and under, and should be going over again, except we are finished. So what we are going to do is, instead of going over and over, we're going to go under and also under here, so that it naturally ties itself and it won't come loose once we go under two of them. So we've got that going on. Let's see if we can get this to sneak through. That's all we need, is one little piece, one little thing left. We get this done, we are through. We're through.
And it's a piece of art, honestly.
And now let's watch what happens. Let's watch what happens. Okay, let's make sure this is straight. Sure, our leather's straight. Oh, there it is. Which one? This one. Okay. Make sure that leather is straight. And pull it through. Twist it. Now, see, what we've done is we've been under the last two. Instead of over and over, we're going under these last two, so that this will naturally tie itself. And when we do that, and then we cut it off just as trim as you want, just as close as you want, need to, because this is going to go back under. Now that was the one we tied the first time. That's no big deal either. So right there, we have traditionally made, well, there's no squirrel's tail, but the leather is around. The same size as this ball.
It's beautiful.
Except we did it with leather. And there's the happy lion's face. Hope you can see the happy lion. Let's see, wait a minute. More like right there. See it?
Oh, I do see it.
There's
wow.
The happy lion. Okay.
No.
Next, since we got, and that's just one, but we're gonna get these sticks in order also, and we're gonna be shooting and running. We're not gonna be running today. We was going to, but we run out of time. We're gonna get an early start tomorrow, and do the field and do the running and do some light shooting tomorrow. It's gonna be fun. First day of doing that. And then we're going to get back into the weight room again. Protein.